like to thank you and this committee for our opportunity to appear before you today. We wish to acknowledge that under your chairmanship we have been invited to occasions reflecting your recognition of our role as the representative body of the road haulage sector. We appear before you today to contribute to the discussion on road safety and to share the perspective of our members on this critical issue. We recognise that the road network is a shared environment used by many for professional road transport operators. Road safety is not an abstract policy issue. It is a practical, everyday reality. The national roads and motorways are our workplace, and ensuring they are safe is fundamental to our daily operations and responsibilities. Our members operate heavy goods vehicles throughout urban, regional and rural areas across Ireland, giving us a direct personal and vested interest in safer roads and better regulation. Today we wish to focus on 6 critical areas that require urgent attention. One major and persistent issue that must be addressed is the current approach and the continued reliance on non-progressive methods of delivery by the Road Safety Authority and many of the services it provides. Unfortunately, the statistics indicate that this approach is not sufficiently effective and has not achieved the desired results in its current form. Regrettably, many shortcomings in the road safety reveal that the existing education systems are failing to deliver the necessary outcomes. I will address this issue in greater detail later. It is vital to have more effective and visible enforcement. We believe the road safety policy must be supported by visible and meaningful enforcement that applies equally to all road users. Our officials, that is public service officials, have contributed to the development of cycle lanes without rules for their use, being clear and without appropriate road signage indicating their presence. However, the changes to the road network and the large urban cycle lane templates do not automatically apply to the smaller towns and villages. There is growing frustration within the industry that compliance is demanded of professional operators, and rightly so, yet enforcement across the broader road network is uneven. Driver training and testing system failures. The current driver training and testing system operated by the RSA is not delivering as it should, with the anomaly of the same entity having responsibility for both training and testing contributing to this outcome. The backlog in driving tests has created a situation where large numbers of learner drivers are waiting excessive periods for a test. Many are effectively forced into non-compliance because of the prolonged, unacceptable waiting times they must travel to work or to school. This is not a failure of learners. It is a failure of system capacity. It is a symptom of the failure of the RSA and their inflexibility to be able to provide the test in a reasonable period. A modern road safety framework cannot tolerate structural delays that undermine respect for licensing rules and their intent. The stubbornness of the RSA to move towards the more advanced education, the use of simulators, remote learning, delivery of driver message in the recipient's first language, which may not be English, and the overview of the content being taught in schools. The use of simulators and in the NDLS centres and as part of transition year curriculum as an effective tool in meeting the basis of teaching rules of the road, good driving methodology, and should include driver under different conditions and as a means to fill in the gap not covered in the current testing or training system. What applies to us, the CPC, not fit for purpose. The Certificate of Professional Competency, the CPC, is currently structurally administered by the Road Safety Authority, is failing to deliver meaningful improvements in road safety. Its content, materials and delivery are outdated and largely irrelevant to the needs of the modern HGV driver. As a result, the training often amounts to little more than a wasted day, despite the significant time and resources required to complete it. Our members invest significant time and financial resources in CPC training. However, too often it is perceived as repetitive, box-ticking and disconnected from real-world operational risks. We are calling for a comprehensive review of the CPC content and delivery. Training should be targeted, evidence-based and focused on both established and emerging road safety risks. It should make use of modern teaching aids and incorporate references to the driver assist and safety technologies that HGVs and indeed buses are equipped with, rather than simply filling mandated hours. When professional drivers are required to undertake periodic mandatory training, it must demonstrably improve the road safety outcomes in a manner that is modern, relevant and directly applicable. The practical infrastructure and road management improvements, I leave them, they're there, you can come and question me and cover your time. However, the last piece on data, transparency and accuracy, we wish to address how road collision statistics are presented. Statistics published by the Road Safety Authority frequently cite the number of heavy goods vehicles involved in collisions. However, involvement does not equate to responsibility. There is a significant difference between being present in a collision and being the causative factor. Without publishing responsible-based data and narrative, unfair distort public perception and professional haulage sector and take the focus off where training and enforcement priorities should be focused. We urge greater transparency in the reporting of collision causation data so that policy and regulatory decisions are evidence-based rather than based on hunches and anecdotes.